So some people have mentioned this is a radiator hose, not a hydraulic line. It needs to be replaced. I'm fully aware of that. We're just not to that step yet. I've been looking for this line that's supposed to be there and I can't find the part anywhere online. So I gotta keep trying to find it. If not, we'll just have to find an actual piece of hydraulic hose that will work there. The problem is that hydraulic oil will break that rubber down over time, and one, it'll either fail, which this is the suction side, or it'll break down and start running through the system. Either way is a bad thing. So it's on the list. It's just not, it's not made at the top 100 yet. In case you haven't caught on to what's getting ready to happen, we're gonna pressure wash all this out and clean it up. I got everything covered. These holes plugged up good. That should be fine. Yeah, I think we're good to go ahead and start getting this all washed out. In case you're new to the channel, this is the Ford 555 triple nickel rebuild that we're working on. Rain when parked when we got it. We've done an in-frame. We've done a whole lot of work to it. There's a playlist in the description. Check it out. Get yourself caught up to speed. Or if you just want to start right here in the process, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the build. I know I said I was going to be working on the Subaru side-by-side project, but it is 60 degrees and sunny today, and I just could not convince myself to be hiding behind a welding hood. It's like 1 o'clock already. I've done a whole bunch of other random errands today, including sending out the last round of t-shirts, so hopefully you guys have been waiting patiently. We'll have them soon. Let's get this thing cleaned up. We're borrowing Dirt Perfect's PTO-powered homemade old fuel tank contraption that works awesome on his 655 to do this. There's just so much junk down in this thing. This is gonna be a really good time to get the inside of these loader arms too, since the nose cone's off. I already did that side, looks a lot better. So it cleaned up pretty good in here. Front of this cleaned up really nice, and all the big stuff. There's still some stuff down in there, but there's gonna be more stuff in there as we use it. It's just a heck of a lot better as it is, and I'm not using the pressure washer to clean this. We'll use a different technique in a later video. I don't want to mess any of those fins up on that. But all in all, pretty happy with that. And the I stuck the pressure washer on the pulleys and just let them go zzz, you know, it was really neat. That was a cool sound effect. Inside those pulleys cleaned up actually really nice with just the pressure washer, so I'm not going to worry about wire wheeling those at all. And today is the day that the last 555 video went live, so I'm just getting all kinds of comments on how I'm doing it wrong, so that's fun. One thing people said, why not put it in float while you're jacking up the loader? It does have float. You push it forward, it detents on the valve block, so when you push it forward, it stays open. And you could, but here's my thing, it's called safety. See, I work by myself, and if I had it in float mode, and then one of those blocks or one of those jacks slipped, then the loader goes wa-boom, and you know, that's just not good. So I just hit it every so often, a little slower for sure, but you know, definitely faster than smashing myself. That's no argument there. The next thing I want to do, We're gonna add an oil pressure gauge. This does not have an actual oil pressure gauge anywhere on it. It does have an electronic sending unit that tells you when there's low oil pressure, but I'd like to actually know what my oil pressure is when I'm running. I mean, we just spent a lot of time and money in rebuilding this thing. Let's not trash it with bad oil pressure. Here's what we got. Beautiful oil pressure gauge. Does have a backlight if I feel the need to hook it up, but I probably won't. Comes with some tubing and some miscellaneous fittings and adapters. I think we'll end up using both of these. We got to find a place we want to mount this. There's two ways to mount it. We can just hook this bracket up somewhere, slide these through and do that. Or if we can find a nice neat spot on the dash up there, we can put it on there, which this also holds it in this bracket, but if we could find a nice neat spot on the dash, we could also put it in there like that. So where we're going to tap in at, if you can see this plug right here, that plug's going to go out. One of those fittings is going to go in, and we got to run this hose, or this tubing, whatever you'd like to call it, back to the dash somewhere. Strip out. Oh no. Oh no. I'm going to take this oil filter off. We're going to have to heat this up quite a bit more than what we are right now. Hand tight. I like it. There shouldn't be. Better put a pan under that just in case a little bit comes up. In case you didn't catch it, I stripped that one out, so I just drove the next size Torx in there. Let's go old school here. Hey, how you guys doing? So we're not really going to talk about how we got where we're at now. But I'll show you. I'll show you where we're at. Oh, okay, hold on. It's a two-hander. So this is the first time I've been working on this where I know what would be the best way to do this, but I just don't have a way to do it. Welding a nut on here and zipping it off, it would be the best way, but my welding leads don't reach that far. The tractor's not here, so I don't have a way to get the welder over here. If I had a little 110 MIG welder, that'd be perfect, but we got her. Little ingenuity, and we got her out. There she is. Would you look at her, boys? All right, we'll talk about it a little bit. So I didn't have the right size drive for this, so I just welded a bit into a socket, because that's what you do, and I don't have the adapter. I got it, but you know, it's not here. And then I hit it a few times with that, stripped that bit out, and then I just did like 1/2 second buzz, like that. and then went back to the socket and hammer technique where I'd hit the socket while I turned, and she popped out. But welding a nut on there is by far the best way to do it. I'm not going to argue that with you. I just don't have a daggone way to do it. And it can be frustrating when you know there's a better way to do something. Daggone it. When you know that's too small. When you know there's a better way to do something, but you just don't have the resources. Sometimes that's frustrating, but you just got to keep on pushing. And this is too small. What I can do though, I can take this with me and this with me to the old auto parts store and see if I can't find the right reducer or bushing size to get that oil line in there. Well, that's going to be on pause for now. The thread is the same, so we got that going for us. I'm going to throw that in the truck so I don't forget. So if you remember on the inside, we found a bad switch on this blower. And I just so happened to pick one up, or order one. Now we're going to see if we can't get another switch in here. And see if the blowers are in fact good. My father-in-law got this for me for Christmas. Kind of handy. The problem with the switch, if you remember, the problem with the switch is that connector was rusted, corroded, and fell off of here. But the spade on the switch went with it. So I just want to, I think it's like 12 bucks. I don't even think it was that much, honestly. But we're just going to add a new one up here somewhere. Only had a couple hours today. You can see the sun kind of starting to set behind me, and the family just got home. So, you know, like y'all are all right, but I'm going to hang out with family instead. All right, I solved a little bit of the mystery on that switch. I'll jump into that first just to make sure I'm correct on it. And I got all the parts and pieces I need for that, and a couple other things. All right, so I pulled it up online. That switch, the B is the power, the C is for the clutch. I thought this switch had a ground on it. Now, it is probably grounded through the switch itself on this setup, but I need to double check some things. I might either have to order a new switch or just rethink the way I've got this one hooked up. We're going to fire up the multimeter real quick. That is something I need to make. It's just a whole bunch of little jumpers with alligator clips and everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to plug this straight into what we know is a ground wire, and I'm just going to ground it to the switch. What if I put you guys? Hey, that's not, can you see there? Okay. Hey, there's the switch. Yeah, that ought to work. Well, let's turn her on low. And we'll flip the battery on. And I'm just going to see if grounding to the body of this will give us the power we need up to the blower. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Guessing at this point. Oh, it didn't blow up. This is just a mystery. These things aren't supposed to take this long, bud. Riddle me this mystery. If you're good at electronics, why, when I do this, straight to it, let's put this in your field of view, hopefully. Can you see that a little bit? And then I hook to this ground. You guys got something up there? Yeah, 12.2. But then, riddle me this mystery. Whenever I plug it in, right here, where it's supposed to go, we are attached, okay? We're attached. Hey, bud, we're shooting a video here. Okay? See what I got there? We're on, yeah, we're not on middle. Okay. And then I get nothing. Riddle me that. Should I not get 12 volts there? Oh! Why is the blower on now? I'm not hooked up to anything. God, it smells terrible. Oh, God. Well, how do you turn it off? Oh. What died in there? Ooh, almost my motivation. All right, interesting. So, I don't know. I didn't change anything. 3 speeds, this is going to smell terrible in 3 speeds. No medium, no high. Well, now I got nothing. Well, this is a mystery. It came on again. I don't know. What is happening? Let's turn some other switches and see if... Oh! 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 Well, I do wonder. Oh, God! Oh! I think it's because you have to have a secondary switch on or off. I turned the AC switch off. I didn't realize it was on. And now the blower just kind of works. The heat is not really a switch. I don't know if you can see up here. The heat is just fluid from the engine coolant that runs through, and there's just a little right here. And I'm guessing it's just a valve that controls the amount of fluid that can go through the little heat exchanger up there. So there's really no electric there. That's just a manual valve, which that is free. Well, that's encouraging. Warmer is wide open. Okay, so with the AC off, let's see if we got 3 speeds like this. Low. I don't want to do high, guys. Okay. Gosh. All right. Close your eyes, bud. Low. My spade connectors might be backwards. I think low is medium and medium is low right now. Looks. Okay. Whatever. I got 3 speeds. I'll figure it out. I love it. I gotta get an extension cord ran over with the heat gun so I can shrink this feller down. Then we'll get that switch mounted. This is a ground. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be needed. It's got to go somewhere. But it ain't here. Maybe it does go to the clutch. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to disconnect the power. We're just going to let her hang. We're a little bit closer to where we need to be. At least we know the blower motor works. And there's something going on here. So if you have a 555 and you've worked on this switch before, do I need a different switch? Do I need a switch that this here is in fact ground? Because even when I grounded the switch out itself and made a little jumper, it didn't seem to do anything. This is marked as clutch on this rotary switch. And sometimes it turns on and sometimes it doesn't. If you have a Ford 555, I'm talking to you. Just me and you having a conversation. Everybody else is just watching and enjoying the video. It's just me and you. Do you think I need a different rotary switch? Or do you think I got something else going on? I do feel quite a bit better about it though, because that means the blower motor works, and those are a few $100s if they don't work. So that is good news. We just got to figure out what's going on with the switch situation. And I did find this fella right here. That's what we need. And that's what we need for the oil pressure switch. Should, fingers crossed, thread into there for us. I'm gonna find a socket. I'm gonna get it started by hand, and then we'll find a socket. And And this is the piece that came with the pressure gauge itself. I'm a little worried about clearance on the exhaust. I think we'll be okay though. I should be able to just take the tubing, as long as we're loose here. Shove her all the way, make sure, yeah, she gets all the way down in there. Man, I probably should have checked to see if they had a 90 that came over to get me away from this exhaust, but I think we're going to end up being okay. Should do it. Yep. And we'll just run this up to the cab. I'd like to put it right there. I gotta crawl underneath and make sure there's not a bunch of stuff in the way for it to go there. I got plenty of tubing to get it there. I think we'll be okay there. Ball around and make it too big while we were cutting. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay. Okay. And then we'll just fall like that, and we'll for sure be able to get out of this position without a doubt. Yep. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Well, if this helped me or not. Okay. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, we got her now. Can you guys tell me if the gauge is straight or not? Curious. Just curious here. Why won't you? Oh, because the daggone backlight wires. Let's just. Okay. There we go. All right. Yep. Nope, that's not how. Oh. No. Oh, my hips don't go that way. Oh. Okay. All right. And it's just that easy. Here we go. That doesn't look too bad there. Kind of fits in nice. Alrighty. With the fuel shut off and it not cranking over, or not trying to start, I should be able to crank it and still build a little oil pressure. Is the oil filter on? It is. Yes. Yes. It does remind me though, I'm getting distracted, but for good reason. Remember when we were working on this, I'd have to come around and manually shut the fuel off, which isn't a huge deal. But I was thinking there's supposed to be a bracket here somewhere. So I kind of looked through. This thing came with a bunch of, like a box of just miscellaneous parts. And what I found, and in that box of random parts, oh dear. And in that box of random parts, I found this bracket right here, which looks like it should be the bracket that holds our fuel shut off. And I'm guessing it goes to that bolt right there. I'm guessing that bolt on the intake manifold holds it right there. And then the fuel shut off cable. Now what? Get out of this contraption. Fuel shut off cable will probably go right like that. Fuel listen carefully in the background, you can hear the CD500 trying to climb a hill at 2 miles an hour. What it does is it holds that outer sheath of the cable, so the inner cable should still be free to move. I may have to snug her up just a little bit more. But let's see. My fuel stop right there. I mean, just the luxury. So in theory, boy, you talk about a little panic attack there. I think we're okay though. I think I just had to get oil up to the gauge. Boy, a fella got nervous there for a second. So now we've got oil pressure gauge. We got actual visualization that the engine is getting the oil that it needs, which feels a lot better, and I really like that. We've got the fuel shutoff bracket fixed, which is great. And then we do know that the blower motor works now, so that's also awesome. We still got to figure out a little wiring there, but we're definitely getting a little bit closer on the list. Next thing I want to do, I want to go ahead and just take this alternator off the rest of the way. We're going this far, might as well take this in and get the daggone thing tested and make sure it's good. And because I know somebody's going to ask, they're going to say, hey, with your oil cooler lines not hooked up, did you lose a little bit of oil there, bud? Yeah, I did, but that's okay. It's going to get another change, all new fluids again before we start running crazy, so I'm not too overly concerned about that. I've only got one thing that's still hooked up on here, and it's because this bolt here is free spinning. It's like when you're buying those tools and you think, when would I ever use a set of 6-inch channel locks? Right now. Right now I would. My pocket knife's on the dresser, alright? So just don't judge me too hard here. Alright, let's test these horns. I can only assume the bracket grounds it. Some people seem to think they can be saved. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Yeah, man, that is crazy loud. Wind is really picking up, makes me nervous. Yeah, there went a tree. Daggone it. So this, excuse me. So this door is stuck open right here, or this window. See if I can manipulate this mechanism enough to get it working. At least get it closed. If not, I can just take this bolt out. But I feel like that's supposed to cam somehow. There we go. Long term, you see how this is all wrought out here, and that's what that bracket supports to. And that also is what helps hold that glass. It holds the metal out so that glass can stay up in there. I'm gonna cut a section of this out and take it to my local machine shop and see if they can't bend a new one for me. See how flimsy that is? That piece of metal in there is what keeps that stiff. You can see how far that glass is out. Really, it's just barely riding on this rubber on the corner. Probably a little bit of friction. When we get to it, this cab's gonna be a lot of work. The plan is to pull the whole cab, take it off, set it down to where we can access everything really good, because there's a lot of rot, there's a lot to repair, there's gonna be a lot of welding. And then when it's all said and done, we'll take the cab, we'll take the loader and everything off, we'll try to get it somewhere where we get it sandblasted and then get it back here and get it all painted. I do want this to be, you know, I'd like to keep this around for a while. I think it'd be handy. I was sitting here for a second thinking, is the cab really worth all the trouble, or should I just take it off? And then I'm watching it just blow like crazy out there, and it's nice in here. So I think it's worth the work. It's just gonna be a whole lot of it. Let's see if we can get out of here. Yeah, the wind's really picking up. There's trees falling everywhere. I'm gonna get my tools picked up. I don't want to get smashed by a tree today, so I'm gonna get my stuff picked up, put away, and that's gonna be it for this one. But a lot of stuff accomplished. We get that water pump back from area diesel service, and we're ready to start getting all this thing put back together. Then we'll put it through its paces. We'll do several videos. I got some stumps I want to dig out. I got a little trenching I want to do. I got a little bit of loader work. There's some work I want to do and make sure it's going to do everything we want. And if that all works, then springtime, it all gets disassembled again, including the cab, like we just said. Gets cleaned up, any metal work that needs done, any welding that needs done, then we're gonna ship it off to the sandblaster, have it sandblasted and painted. That's the long-term update on this thing. Next thing we're gonna do on the channel is go back out the YouTube yacht. We're gonna strip all that outer formwork. I wanna put a railing up on that. Just subscribe, stay tuned. You'll see, it's gonna be great. And that's it, that's all I got for this one. I definitely appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.